Hello again, it's me, that guy with the YouTube channel, and unless you click on videos going purely off the little picture that the YouTube thingy shows, in which case you should really improve your reading skills. As you can tell by the little title right there, we're re-reviewing the S.H.monsterarts Godzilla 2000 poopy color special version. It's actually not that poopy. I kind of like it. Yeah, the original review is a steaming shit pile, so that's why I'm re-reviewing this. Let's take a look at the box. So for the box, as you can see, it's purple, and there's no window because web exclusive. Can't put a window on there apparently. Can't see what you're buying if you're like, if you found this thing in a store. I don't know how you would. And we got Bandai Tamashii. I fucking hate that web exclusive logo. There's nothing, not a whole lot. I believe, as I've heard, these are just photoshopped images of the actual Godzilla 2000. So great job there, Tamashii. And you know something? And there's a stupid bluefin logo lazily slapped on there as usual. But you know something? Why is it that this costs $70? It's a web exclusive, just comes with Godzilla, no accessories, but GMK is same deal, web exclusive, no accessories, but that costs $10 more. Getting on to details, seeing as I don't have the shipper box, as you can see it's very nice. This is based off the Yuji Sakai sculpt. Bottoms of the feet are detailed, and copyright's just printed on, which is very nice, so if you wanted to remove that, you could, and you would still have the nice detail. His toenails are pretty well painted. They look realistic. This is really sloppy. I don't really like the way that's painted, but whatever. He's got some kind of lightish gray highlights on his knees, which this knee piece really likes sticking up inside there, but yeah, as you can see, it's a lighter brownish gray from what color is showing up there. Showing up is more brown on camera, but in person it's more of a almost kind of greenish gray, kind of like the Memorial box figures. And there's some very light black shading on him. Nothing extreme like on 95 Rebirth version, but just very light, mostly around his muscle areas and things like that. Spines are gray because this is the 2002 color scheme on the 2000 Yuji Sakai design, so this is not the film used one. I like the pose of the hands, very clawy, killy, grabby, gropey, Copperfield-ish. Again, there's another spray on his chest, and his head looks very nice. His eyes are menacing. One eye is slightly bulging out more than the other. Quality control issue that is on many figures. And it's overall a good head sculpt. Inside looks nice, and he does not have a translucent tongue like the prototype for the original had. His tail is also very nice, which I've removed for just because it's easier. There's a much lighter spray color scheme on the bottom of it, and the spines look very nice going all the way to the end. Now on to whatever's next. So now on to the kind of main attraction of Monster Arts, articulation. First of all, there's about 4 segments in his head, so we can look down probably far enough that that would probably snap his neck, and he can't look up, like at all. Articulation on this figure is kind of frustrating. This is one of the first frustrations of articulation. Yeah, you can't look up at all. Mouth opens and closes. It's one of those stupid ball joint jaws, so you can move it to the side. It should really just open and close like that. Tongue is on a hinge, whoop-de-fucking-dee. Shoulders have kind of a butterfly joint, so they can move out and a more inward part. And then they're ball jointed on the outer part, so you can do crazy shit. Elbows are ball hinged, or not ball hinged, ball jointed actually. It's a barbell style joint. I've taken the arm off to see. It only gets about 90 degrees. I would kind of like to get the arms closer to the body for a Godzilla, but whatever. Hands are kind of similar to a ball joint peg system, where there's a swivel at the very base, a hinge, but instead of a ball joint at the top of the hand, it's another swivel. But it helps get a good amount of poses, and if you fiddle around with it, you can make the hand move in different directions. Waist. Well, up here, there's a kind of joint, the diaphragm area with a ugly gap, and there's another one down there, but there aren't a whole lot of spine gaps, because I think this is very clever. They leave, the spines are kind of attached onto these separate parts on angle, so this spine is lower than this spine, so like this kind of bridges the gap, which is really cool. Lower part is also ball jointed, really mostly get swivel motion. Legs move inhumanly, unmonsterly out to the side. Forward, well actually I think they could go 360, but I don't want to risk that because that could grind away the sculpt on the figure. Knees, double hinged. They can also, well I mean the lower hinge can rotate a little bit, but that might just be because the calf swivel is right below that and this part is just moving with the calf, but yeah, it's actually not a swivel, it's a ball joint at this area. I don't really know what you'd call that. Ball joint in the feet and the tail. This is where the really big frustration comes in. So it's articulated all the way up to here. So like, yeah. Yeah, this figure is made out of soft plastic. Both releases are. And out of the box, yeah, it's been like this ever since I first gotten him out of the box. And first out of the box, his tail is a lot stiffer. Yeah, you can hold a pose, but once you start really posing this thing, not even doing anything extreme, it gets really, really loose and pops apart really easily. Great job. Really, that's great quality, Tamashi. Really glad people can give you their money for pop apart tails. So now on to sizing. Seeing as this design is based off, well the paint scheme at least is based off the 2002 design, here he is alongside the S.H.monsterarts 2002 Kiru, which he's a little too short, and I mean it looks good. I've posed these two together and taken pictures with them before, but I want the real Godzilla 2002. None of this shit. Next, because this is Godzilla 2000, here's the Toho Kaiju series Orga, which is, Godzilla's taller obviously, which this is far from accurate because he's 55 meters and this is 60 meters, so Orga should really be like up to there. And I mean, it's a okay sizing, so if you want to pose this guy, or at least display him next to Orga, I would really recommend the Sound Battler Orga if you want an Orga that can size up with your Godzillas better. Next, here he is with the actual Godzilla 2000, the Shinichi Wakasa design, and what I believe to be the superior design, and this is the better figure than this, but this is based off a better design. Yeah, this is the 2000 release from Megaguirus, but same figure as the ordinary Toho Kaiju figure. They're actually pretty close in height up to the heads, but yeah. So there's that for you. Here he is alongside Megaguirus. This is the normal version, not the Theater exclusive. And, well, if we put the stinger in his mouth, like in the movie when he bites it off, I would actually say this is a good sizing. So, yeah, there's that for you. And next here he is with, oh, what's this? And finally, here he is alongside the S.H.monsterarts Godzilla 1995 Rebirth version and the NECA 6-inch Godzilla 2014. These probably aren't very accurate sizings in the slightest, but it's just to show you what he looks like next to two very common figures. If you do not have this figure, you probably don't collect Godzilla. Let's face it, everyone has that. So now on to the final part of the review, history of the figure and pricing. This figure was originally released in, I want to say 2013, as just Godzilla 2000 Millennium, and he had a more greenish skin, and he didn't have the gray spines. I just knocked over a building. Oh shit. And his spines were purple, so it was a more movie-accurate color scheme. And then when he started getting really expensive, they decided that they need to reissue him, but Tamashii, no. They don't do reissues of normal figures. They don't just normally, reissue like, hey guys, here you go. They only do that with Godzilla 94, so you wouldn't be able to get a blue beam. They made this, and they said it's based on the 2002 color scheme, which I think is kind of a stupid move, because you didn't even include anything with this. Like, if you're gonna repaint it, fine, but at least include something with it to make people who have the first version more likely to get this. Like, you could have given a red beam or a blue beam. Actually, no, Tamashii doesn't like doing generic blue beams because they want to make any blue beam that isn't this specifically sculpted to one design, like 2014 64. So they give us things like piss yellow beams lit like that. That's another story for a different day. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. And this is a web exclusive figure. You could have gotten him for about $70. I think you can still get him around $70. I didn't check before filming this. But I would suggest getting him soon if you're thinking about it, because the old one is now worth like $200. This is probably gonna go up to that price too. And for a rating, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. A lot of people say that it's the definitive MonsterArts Godzilla, and I fucking love it. I would not really say that. He's got a lot of issues, like he can't look up, the plastic is too soft, so his tail always falls off. He's not the definitive MonsterArts Godzilla, and I'm sure that the newer ones coming out, like GMK and 89, are gonna put this guy in his place. But he is a very good figure, and I would recommend him. He's an 8 out of 10, a kind of low 8 out of 10, almost a 7. So that's it for this review, and as I always say, Shamama Jamo, it means I accidentally ate the whole thing.